Good morning, traders. It is Monday, September 8th. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Looking at the markets, we have equities trading higher. We have bonds trading higher. Gold, silver, and oil all moving higher. We have the dollar down just a little bit. Overall, nothing too significant. Equities markets are up 1/10 or 1/4%, a fourth of a percent for the NASDAQ. Again, they've been kind of treading water, kind of doing this little bit of a pause or kind of running correction to the upside, which if we were to zoom out on the S&P 500, kind of similar to, we had a move up and it kind of did this little squeeze here and then finally kind of popped and had an expansion move. Now we're kind of into another little bit of a running correction, a little bit of a running wedge to the upside. These do generally end with a strong move, and that strong move can be either to the downside, a sharp correction, or it can be a strong pop, an expansion, just like over here. So that's the only issue with kind of this type of chart pattern. I know a big move is brewing, and the question is, which way is it going to go? The underlying trend long-term from the 150-day, the 50-day, the 20-day, and the 5-day are all still sloping up. Our momentum and everything is still green on these charts. We dip into these oversold territories. The market gets bought back up. So the bias is to the upside, and that is what we are positioned for. Now, if we take a look at a couple of our positions, SILJ, which we are still long, we've taken some partial profits, continues to run up this 5-day moving average. It's just had a nice 2, 3, 4-day pause, kind of taking a breather. It is set to open higher and hopefully extend that run today. If we look at XLC, as the communication sector, it has a nice pop and run. We've hit a target there. It's continuing to run up towards our next target. And again, looking really good as this market continues to kind of mature, and the underlying bullish bias is allowing other sectors to run higher. Now, if we take a look over the chart of bonds, we do have bonds having a nice big pop there really in the past trading session, moving up. People are expecting rates to get cut 1/4 or 50 basis points on the unemployment data. I think it was. Looking at the numbers, it didn't seem really that stressful. I mean, we've got pretty high or low unemployment. It's nothing that I think is earth-shattering in the United States. So I'm not sure what the Fed is going to do. I don't think they're going to do anything, but it really doesn't matter. We'll just see what they're going to do and how much, if they do anything. But I don't feel like there's a lot of stress in the employment space, to be honest, just because the trend is neutralized there, or maybe unemployment's going up ever so slightly doesn't mean you panic and you start slashing rates. But we'll see what the Fed does. They got their own rules and formulas for that. Another chart that I want to show here is I know we got a lot of Canadians in here. A lot of us own US dollars, anticipating the dollar to go higher as the economy eventually and the stock market eventually goes into a reset at some point. Usually we see the dollar scream higher, the US dollar, and that means the currency exchange for Canadians is good. We hold US dollars. It can run 10, 20% potentially to the upside. Big moves potentially for the US dollar index, and of course for Canadians who hold US dollars who will eventually cash out. Now, if we take a look at this, a lot of people are bearish on the dollar. This is pretty much also what the dollar index is doing itself, and they're expecting it to go lower. But sometimes you got to flip the script and get a view from a different angle. So let's just invert the chart of this. If we were to look at this chart, you could very easily turn to a bullish bias. You could say that we could have potentially a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder forming over here. If we break this neckline, it would mean a significant unwinding event back down to the upper end of this range or somewhere into here. We've gone from a series of higher lows and higher highs to more so, you could say, just a flat neutral chart pattern here where it's putting in a triple top. Now we have a series of lower highs and lower lows, which is a definition of a downtrend. And if we take a look at, this is my book, Technical Trading Mastery. Chapter 10 is about identifying trends. You can see here we've got a rising trend, we've got a topping trend, and now it looks like we're starting a downward trend for this, meaning the US dollar index is going to start to rally. This is going to go down. Well, let me just flip this back over here. More or less, we've put in a bottom, and now it's starting to head higher. So when looking at this, if you're holding US dollars or investments in US dollar, we should start to see this rise. It's still carving out a bottom. I'd really like to see it break this high over here around 140. But overall, you can see how that just using technical analysis, the trend has changed direction, just like it changed over here from sideways or down to up, and then from here it topped out and broke down. So we're starting to head higher. So that's kind of an interesting chart as we start to go forward here. Other than that, I think that's it for today. We'll see how the markets unfold. And we have been seeing gold, silver, and miners have some pretty nice pushes to the upside. Looks primed and ready for gold to have that explosive move. We've talked about how this was an important breakout. We are long gold with an ETF, and of course this has got potential to rally to about 4,100, potentially go a whole lot further. This could really explode to the upside. In fact, if we were to let's just pull this Fibonacci chart on here, we could look at this high momentum move. Now this is a very high momentum speculative move, but this is where it could pop to really this week. In 5-6 trading sessions, if it wanted to, up to 38.56, which percentage-wise from where that is on Friday's close, it's about a 5.5% move, and that definitely will pick up speed. This type of high momentum move where it explodes higher is very similar to this type of move. A strong pop, a quick, tiny little pause, and then boom, it takes off, and then we'll just go from there. Let's take a quick look at silver. Very similar type of setup. We've got a very strong pop, quick little pause, and again, it is primed and ready for another rally to the